From the block party to the family reunion, cultural events do more than fill our calendars. They fill our soul.
It's the Naybors Podcast with Reese and Mike. They discussing different issues that affect our streets and life. Said it's the Naybors. We the Naybors. Yeah.
So, y'all, here's the question of the day. What cultural event do you look forward to every year, whether it's now or in the past? And what does it say about who you are and where you come from? So, for me, here in the great city of Philadelphia, I used to look forward to a Dune Day. I really enjoyed going to a Dune Day, especially when because I think a Dune Day, it wasn't always on South. I think it's on South Street now, but I don't think it was always on South Street. I don't feel like it was always on South Street.
Come to think, no, because I thought it used to be down near the Parkway somewhere.
Yeah, it felt like it was there for a while, and then it moved to South Street.
Right.
But that was one thing that I used to look forward to because of the, again, we're African American. And so seeing your own people, the clothes and the food and, so that was one thing that I used to really enjoy going to, looking at, again, for those of you who kind of know my history, my story, again, this is part of the Naybors Podcast life. I had the opportunity to sing there. The choir, the community choir I was on, we sang at a Dune Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, granted, we was in part of the gospel part, of that, of that show. We sang with two other choirs, but that was a great moment. Sometimes you don't ever see yourself being in that place.
Beyond, right. Right.
Okay. But a Dune Day though was. I mean, that was the one thing, especially when at that time my girlfriend lived in South Philly too.
Gotcha.
So I would go down there to her house, and then we would walk up to South Street.
Gotcha.
And do that, and I would be with her, and we get to laugh and joke. So that was one thing that I used to really enjoy.
Okay.
Was a Dune Day. How about yourself?
Cool. Be honestly. Oh no!
You don't know.
I'm serious. I'm trying to think. Well, the hype about what? I guess what 4th of July back then. It was different. But then not now. It gets better and better. But it's just like, I guess it's the 4th of July.
I mean, now like they don't. What is the Made in America series right now?
Right.
Here in Philly, but that's relatively new. That's not 30 years old.
No, it's not.
You get what I mean? That's relatively new.
Because I know first it was Sunoco did it, right? Was Sunoco started it?
I don't remember.
Sunoco did not. Wawa took over.
Yeah, right. It wasn't always Wawa.
It was
right.
always Wawa. I think it was Sunoco. Welcome to America. If I'm not mistaken.
That's a good question.
That's a good question. But
that's a good question.
Wawa's killing it.
They are.
They killing it.
They are.
But besides that, basically holidays. Special events. I guess 4th of July. Any event we ain't had to go to school. That was all I know. Summertime was fun. Back then.
Yeah, I think. Because some of the other thoughts, for this is, what other type of festivals or parades, did you look forward to as well beyond the family function thing? And so the other thing that I used to look forward to, but that's because I started being a part of it when I got older, was the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, Thanksgiving Day. We used to go to the Thanksgiving Day parade.
I was luckily I was able to be in it and carried a few floats.
Okay.
And 1 year, I got my wife and my kids in it as well. And so while I'm doing a float, now granted we was at two different times, but while I'm doing a float, she was with them being clowns. They were clowns.
Okay.
So they passing out candy and all that type of stuff,
cool.
you know,
That's cool.
whatever.
That's cool.
You know, so those are the type of things that I used to look forward to. Now, and you, Mike, you and I talk about it often, how the family dynamic has changed.
Yeah, it changed big time. It just seemed like each year is a change.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Right.
and you know, like you questioning like why. You know, let's say too many disagreements, too many hatred, too many jealousy. It's damn near all the above.
I mean, and I think that's what changed for me. Like some of these other events, like, you know, you go to, even like I'm talking about events, but even just something as simple as going to a museum,
Right.
Or whatever, like it just feels almost as if people are not supporting you in the manner like you would think.
Right.
Like, hey,
Right.
you know what? We're just out there having fun. We're enjoying life. These things are going on. You get what I mean?
Right.
But it's like, no, like people are really hating on the fact that you're doing this stuff. You know, if it wasn't for my gout, I probably would still be doing the Thanksgiving Day parade. It's just a nice little long walk, you know, and you got to be out there at 3-something in the morning. Oh yeah, no, but here's the thing.
Yeah, because you practice now all the eggs.
Well, I mean, we had to get set up. We had to help with blowing up the floats and the animals or whatever, and get ourselves ready for the like one year when I carried the turkey. You know, that was one of the ones I had to do. It was a turkey, but the turkey sat on a actual float. You know, and we had to pull the
rope,
the rope joint,
gotcha.
right?
Yeah,
you know, and so it's like, yo, like, hey, y'all, we need to understand, we need to build momentum to hold this thing,
right?
You know, because the other ones that I did where we had like characters that's float in the air,
right?
They weren't easy, but it was a lot easier than trying to pull this heavy float.
Yeah,
you get what I mean? And then even with the but I enjoyed it because I got a chance to meet Sheila E. in person.
Okay.
I met a all-female football team, tackle football team.
Okay.
I actually had the opportunity. The year I met Sheila E., my character was right behind her float.
Gotcha.
So that was good to like hear her music the whole time we in the parade. You get what I mean?
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
And then when another year where I did the another balloon where I was with the football team, that you know, the female football team. So you get to meet some really interesting people,
right? It's something different,
you know, and everybody's on the same page,
right?
And it's interesting when you're What was funny, my father-in-law, maybe. Let's say, for an example, let's say I walked in front of the TV maybe at 11 o'clock. And so he'll call me at like 2:30. And I'm like, I saw you on TV, man.
Wow.
Because, you know, it
That's
takes a
cool,
while
right.
for you to get home, you know. But because that one year is when I walked closest to where the people were.
Gotcha.
And the camera was like right in my face. And then there was another year where we had to stand there and wait for the young people to perform.
Gotcha.
You know, so but it's like stuff like that when you're like, yo, you look forward to that. You get to see happy faces, right. And the only thing that you don't look forward to is the cold weather.
The cold weather. Oh man, it's been some cold Thanksgiving mornings, Jack.
You know, and being out there at 3 o'clock and you got to stand outside at 20th and JFK.
And that wind blowing.
Right.
Ooh.
That was work. That was work. But when you out there laughing and joking and, you know, whatever,
right?
Like it was fun. So so those are the type of events beyond, like I said, the regular family function thing or the family reunion things. Those are some of the things that I really enjoy doing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's all we did. It's like what family function Jones we did was like almost. I remember back then, I think I told you that every other weekend we used to go to Virginia. And back then, we used to going to Virginia. It was like going over to Jersey. And it was fun.
Wow.
It was fun. You know, this is when my uncle had this Buick station wagon with the seat facing up. You face in the back, you sit in the back.
Right.
You look at the cars coming and all that, you know. I thought I was a little grown, back then. I think my parents got us start drinking, man, at an early age.
I mean, look, y'all probably did looking at the cars coming at y'all from behind.
No, but the thing is,
I'm joking.
Yeah, I don't know. But the thing is, we ran out of soda. You know, back then we had Frank soda and all that.
Right, yeah.
Ran out, so I think my uncle was drinking Miller High Life or Schaefer's, one of them beers. So I'm sitting in the back, take a sip. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm adult. I'm grown. Yeah, I'm grown. All of a sudden, I heard something go smack.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? It's my mom on smacking the back of the head. I'm like, how the hell she seen me? I'm like, oh, duh, dummy, rearview mirror. Your uncle was driving. Jackass.
Look.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah. I mean, I remember my dad, you know, allowing me to take a sip of his beer while I was sitting on his lap in the car while he's talking to his friend. You know.
Right.
You know, everybody chilling, right?
Everybody chilling,
and I'm sitting in the car and I'm acting like I'm driving, you know, whatever.
Oh, yeah. We
typical,
stood in the back of the dog. Yeah, back in the dirt road back there.
Typical stuff. And, you know, he gave me a sip. I mean, like you said, our parents might have influenced some things.
I mean, they certain things, but but we knew not to do it outside.
Right.
That's the crazy part.
Right.
If I find out, that's okay.
I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Right. Totally different now, Jack. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it is. It is. I mean, but see, the thing is that some parents, as we see, don't really care as much.
Nah.
You know, it's all right. You know, whatever you do behind closed doors, you do behind closed doors.
Right.
But don't allow, like you said, the public to see it. Right.
Right.
You know, I'm not, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying to y'all, I condone y'all giving y'all 9-year-old. I'm not saying that at all. Let's not get it twisted. I'm just saying that whatever you do behind closed doors, that's between you and them.
Right.
Right. Don't involve me in it. You know, don't put me in a situation. And I'm not saying that I am. I'm not saying that I have been.
Right.
You know, but sometimes, you know, if you're going to do that, even if you had, and what I mean by don't put me in it, don't invite me to your house and you're doing it in front of me.
Right. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
And plus, you get there, don't assume I do the same thing that you're doing.
Right. You know, so that might be your family function. Like that might be what y'all got going on.
Yeah, I mean,
you get what I mean?
You know, that's y'all flow, but it's not mine.
Right. You know, so and I don't, that's what I'm saying. I just wanted to let y'all understand. Like, I don't want to get it confused.
Right.
I'm not saying I condone it. I'm not saying that I hate it. I'm not saying anything. Whatever you do is for you.
Right.
You know, but just understand that one is behind your closed door, and number two, in all honesty, what is the long-term effect of that? Too?
Exactly, but which a lot of people don't think about.
Right. You get what I mean?
People don't think about that.
You know, so before y'all go off on a tangent and, hey, you know, we partying, we chilling or whatever it is, understand how does that affect your child, right? And I said your child could be 18 years old, still your child.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Right.
But understand how does that affect them and how they maneuver through life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, though. You know, like I say, you know, we stated family functions, everything is totally different now. That it's like lack of unity. It just fading, slipping away, whatever situation. Who knows?
Right.
Who knows? But it's crazy.
But see, and that's why we're talking about this type of topic. When I said something about a Dune Day, right?
Mm-hmm.
A Dune Day, you know, gave a sense of pride in our culture.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You get what I mean? You know, you get to see clothes from Africa.
Right.
You know, you get to see clothes from Jamaica or
right.
whatever it might be. You know, so you get to celebrate one another.
You know, yeah, speaking of that, I'm upset that we missed that.
Right.
It was yesterday.
Right.
I'm like, man, what the?
I mean, I didn't pay no attention. And then the other thing is that something else that I don't go to, I've been meaning to, is the whole night market thing.
You know what? I would like to check that out too. Yeah.
But again, that's something that's like, hey, these are those type of festivals.
Right.
That's like, let's enjoy each other's culture.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Right.
Everything
you can't always have everything one sided.
Right.
You can't.
Right.
And that's the problem now.
Right.
So
I just want y'all to understand, like, this topic. Yeah, we might have joked about how what we like, we didn't like, whatever else. But there's another meaning to this, which is like, as neighbors, all this makes a difference.
Oh,
all
big time.
This
It always,
matters.
yeah. It's like almost it matters, almost like it's like everyday effect.
Right.
And it's reality.
Right.
Back to basic. It is what it is. But certain things, you sit back and think about, like, why.
Mm-hmm.
Why we do this? Why we do that? Hey, why not we do this? Let's try this. Let's try that.
Right.
Life is an adventure. It's a journey.
But see, you know what? I think, especially right now,
mm-hmm.
it feels like we get caught up in it every day.
We do. We really do.
You get what I mean?
We really do.
And so because we're caught up in it every day, and I got to go get mine. I got to get this money. Whatever. Like you said, like if y'all listen to Mike in another episode where he talked about, hey, chilling in the mountains.
Right.
Right. Now, that's his version of rest and relaxation. Yours might be chilling on the water.
Right.
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 But again, are you chilling?
Right.
How do you kind of rest and relax? And, especially for those of us that quote unquote have high blood pressure,
right,
or anything else, it's those things that helps to bring it down naturally.
Yeah, it do. It does.
So how do y'all balance that?
Right.
And because again, we're talking about underlining messages. How do we heal?
How do we heal? Right.
That's one underlining messages that we're talking about.
Yeah, basically self-healing.
Right.
Yep.
So you're reconnecting with your friends, you're reconnecting with your family, you're reconnecting with your culture, and ultimately you're kind of reconnecting with yourself.
Pretty much. Even though you always got to put yourself first, especially when it comes to that.
Sometimes we don't do that though, bro.
We don't.
Yeah.
We don't.
We get consumed with everybody else.
Yep. Worry about everybody. Oh, wait a minute, hold up. Worry about what you doing.
Right.
Ain't it simple?
Right. But, I think those are the type of things, y'all, like, just consider, how are you showing up?
Right.
For the person next to you? How you showing up for your family? How you even showing up for your community,
and,
your neighbor?
What kind of impression you leaving your kids? What impression you showing your kids, is, like they say, it always starts at home.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
It's crazy. It always starts at home. But, everybody live their life in a different way.
Right.
But, I say it's always two sides. It's the positive side and it's the negative side. There's no middle. Mm-hmm. No middle. You got to pick one. And just make sure you pick the right one. That's the thing.
And I hear you, but the challenge is the negative side always seems like it's the stronger side. Unfortunately, that's the way it feels.
Or it's the easiest thing to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, but,
because it's easy for me to say, you can't do it.
Right.
It's easier for me to say, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to say, I don't trust you.
Right.
Like all these things, but why is that?
That's a good question.
And so that's why, we're bringing up these type of topics to y'all to say, hey, we as a community need to get better.
We need to get better, right? Within, not without. Within. Then you branch it out.
Right. Because in our reality, these things is not just for you at this present moment, but is it a situation that connected you with a past generation?
Right.
And now is it going to help out to keep the future generations together?
Right.
Sometimes we're too caught up in today and not tomorrow.
Exactly.
Consider tomorrow. I'm not saying don't live for today. Like, I'm not saying forget today.
Right.
But consider All the above.
Right. And some things, some things in the past can help you within the future, the present and the future.
Right.
Depend what it is. What it is. But, everything is not for everything.
Right.
So.
So let us know what your thoughts are, y'all. And consider what ideas or what thoughts or what traditions that you and your family members have.
Right.
Beyond the regular Thanksgiving, Christmas
stuff, right?
Easter,
national holidays,
Right.
I mean, basically just not just celebrate birthdays, just celebrate every day.
Right.
Right. Be honestly.
I mean, because, look, if Mike could have it, he would have just a national holiday just for, sound systems.
Now see, yeah, I guess.
but again, what is that what it brings people together, whether it's a movie, whether it's music, whatever, like those are things that bond people together.
Not just, some people still do it, have card games at their night, go play pinochle here, there. I mean, that's cool. That's good. That's good. But, just walking down the street, just starting to and all that. Come on now. Excuse me. That's kind of, don't you get tired of doing that? Getting bored and doing,
again, man, we talking about people being negative.
Right.
And negativity, whatever reason, negativity sells.
It does. It does.
Because
like I said, it's the easiest thing to do.
And I guess life would be boring if you didn't have it. To some degree.
To some degree. I'm about to say, to some degree.
To some degree. So, but again, y'all, share with us. Let us know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, feel free to reach out.
Yep. And stay fit.
Yes. Try to. I know it's a task. Try to.
Right. So, but keep in mind, fit means Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Follow us, y'all.
Bingo.
We'll talk to y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
Thanks for hanging out with us on the Naybors Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the conversation and felt right at home. If you like what you heard, don't be a stranger. Subscribe, leave us a review, and share this with your friends and fam. Got something on your mind or a topic you'd love to hear us talk about? Hit us up. Until next time, remember, we're all just neighbors working together for a better community. Stay safe, stay connected, and we'll catch you in the next one.